So for today's reality check, we're heading to California, where tens of thousands of families, more like so close to 50,000 residents, have been suddenly forced to leave their homes because of something many people never think about, which is a chemical emergency. So officials in Orange County ordered about 44,000 residents to evacuate after a dangerous situation unfolded at an aerospace facility in Garden Grove. A storage tank holding a chemical called methacrylate, I'm assuming that's what that is, MMA, began overheating and releasing vapors. Now, this isn't just some minor spill. Authorities say that tank has the potential to rupture, leak, or even explode, which is why emergency crews move quickly to clear entire neighborhoods. Families across multiple cities, including Garden Grove, Anaheim, Cypress, Westminster, suddenly had to pack up and leave, not knowing when they'll be able to come back home. Health experts say exposure to this chemical can cause breathing problems, dizziness, nausea, headaches, and eye irritation, especially for children, seniors, and people with respiratory issues. So the bigger question is, how many dangerous facilities exist near everyday neighborhoods that most of us don't even know they're there until something like this goes wrong? So California's governor has now declared a state of emergency while emergency crews work around the clock trying to cool the tank and stop this from becoming something much worse. So let's see what we got on that. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I have an update on that as well from when I initially got the report together for that. So hold on one second. I'm going to get that pulled up for y'all. We're going to get the initial report, and then we'll do an update. So also, if you are here, before I play this, if you are here, welcome in. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notifications. So every time I go live, you're here with me. So let's listen in to this chemical tank that's got 50,000 people evacuated out in California.
Thousands in Orange County, California on edge, fleeing town, now bracing for the worst, as authorities offer a no-win scenario for an unstable, uncontrollable tank filled with hazardous chemicals, saying it will either fail and leak or explode.
I cannot emphasize, this is not precautionary. This thing is going to fail. We don't know when.
The latest update, grim. Efforts to cool the tank and buy more time are failing. A team of scientists confirming it's only getting hotter.
The temperature was 90 degrees. Yesterday morning, it was 77 degrees when we backed out. It's been averaging about a degree an hour increasing.
The source of the problem, a bank of chemical tanks at an aerospace facility, one with a compromised valve containing about 7,000 gallons of methacrylate, a colorless, highly volatile liquid chemical used to make plastics, a known toxin to humans.
It can cause a vapor. And my biggest concern is that if that vapor goes into the air and people inhale that, it causes significant damage.
40,000 people now under mandatory evacuation orders. Governor Newsom declaring a state of emergency, making additional shelters available.
This is my hometown. And I'm sorry. And I'm worried for everyone.
What's the worst case scenario here?
Well, that worst case scenario is that fireball, okay, is to have the primary tank blow up, chain reaction blow up the additional tanks, and that's 34,000 gallons of energy release.
How worried are you right now?
Very. This is serious. This is real.
And the company that owns that facility released a statement yesterday saying they sincerely apologize to the community and that they're working with authorities and experts on a possible solution. Hallie?
Steve Patterson watching it all. Steve, thank you.
Y'all, this is tough. That's crazy that it might blow up. Let me see if I can pull up another video, because that was like one of the initial reports. That I don't know. Continues into Sunday. Okay, let's listen in. Oh, it says this is live. So let's look at this one, because this one's live. Oh yeah, we'll look at this one for a second, and then I'll see if I can give an update. So let me add this one to the stage. So there's the chemical plant right there. Oh, it is live, and this is coming from, I don't know what page this is, y'all. I'll give them credit in the description, but can y'all imagine Somebody said it was 90 degrees this morning, so it's got to be well over 100 degrees. I know they're trying to keep it cool with water constantly on it. So I don't even know like what would stop something like this. This is so interesting to me. And somebody in the comments talking about the Democratic leadership. Hold on, y'all. That ain't got nothing to do with this chemical stuff that's got going on. Let me I'm gonna find a different video that probably gonna give an update of what's going on. And then I did wanna get this chemist where she addresses like the health and safety concerns if this were to explode. And they got all these vehicles there. Oh wow. They got RVs. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this without y'all. Hold on. I'm gonna pull this up for y'all.
Homes as emergency crews race against the clock to prevent a massive explosion with shelters overflowing this morning. The Orange County DA is demanding answers, launching an immediate investigation.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Irene Cruz.
And I'm Tim Caputo. Our live team coverage begins with Monica Deonda live at the command post this morning, where firefighters this morning working on a solution that potentially does not involve a catastrophic failure of that chemical tank. Good morning, Monica.
Tim, Irene, good morning. Well, the work continues. It hasn't stopped. It's been 24/7 to try and find an alternative solution, even multiple, right? They're trying to get creative, and that's why the Orange County Fire Authority tells us they are speaking with experts from all across the country to try and find a third, fourth, maybe a fifth option that could work and help this ever-evolving situation. I want you to take a look right now on your screen and check out the area that we are told to be the potential blast zone if this tank exploded. The innermost circle represents the area where we can expect the most severe structural damage and significant harm. And check this out. New video from Air 7 shows firefighters returning to the toxic tank scene late last night, putting themselves in harm's way in hopes of gathering crucial information on the temperature inside of that tank, which fire officials have said is only heating up. Meantime, firefighters are using drones every 10 minutes to monitor the temperature of that tank. They say their priority is keeping the tank cool, buying experts more time to come up with a solution. And here's what we're now learning about a possible third option.
There's a void space above the top layer of the water or the liquid to the top space. We're hoping that space can absorb a slower cure rate and not overpressure and blow up. Letting this thing just fail and blow up is unacceptable to us. Our goal is to find something and not allow that happen, not let it damage our community, not let it damage our environment. That's unacceptable.
This all started Thursday when a leak was detected in an overheating tank at GKN Aerospace in Garden Grove. The options: toxic chemicals in the air or an explosion. Since then, 50,000 residents were put under evacuation orders as the race continues to prevent a chemical catastrophe over here. Now, as they come back out here live, again, firefighters and fire officials, the experts are all working around the clock to find some sort of solution. We are hoping for...
That's crazy, y'all. Miles said, I used to work at a plant like that, quit after 9 months because I fear for my life. Absolutely. Look, it's crazy. Let me, it's one more video that I wanted to play. From the chemist.
Joining us this morning is Dr. Elaine Burnell. She's an expert in chemistry and biochemistry at Cal State Long Beach. Thank you for joining us on this Labor Day weekend, Dr. Burnell.
Thank you, Michelle. Good morning.
Good morning. We want to start with the tank's temperature that we've been hearing about. You know, crews have been continuously pouring water to keep it at 90 degrees or cooler. Can you tell us more about that? Is it really possible to cool down what's happening inside that tank?
So what's happening is as the water is cooling the tank from the outside in, so the temperature, the heat is being redistributed. So the cooling is making sure that the temperature doesn't spike, which is the issue that authorities are looking at right now.
You know, and they've talked about that sweet spot at around 50 degrees, which, you know, temperatures are rising, not going down. What is the threshold temperature before we could possibly see an explosion that officials have been warning the public about?
Officials have been warning that the threshold is about 100 degrees. So this is why it's important to monitor the trends, that the remote sensing is important, to monitor that continuously. So that way authorities, OCFA, HAZMAT can respond accordingly. What's happening is that as the tank cools, so MMA, methyl methacrylate, is stored as a liquid. And then as it polymerizes or solidifies, think of a chain reaction. Yeah. So as that chain link grows and then those chains come together, the reaction actually creates heat. So that's why it's important to keep it cool. And as the water keeps the tank cool, it actually slows the reaction down to further prevent the reaction from happening with a thermal runaway.
That's just it. Let's go into that. You talk about that dangerous chain reaction that can happen when the temperatures go up. So on a smaller scale, maybe a simple explanation or example of that is like when a lithium ion battery gets too hot and explodes. Firefighters call that the thermal runaway that you just mentioned. Can you talk more about what that is, and can it be stopped?
Yes, it definitely can be slowed down. This is why it's important to keep the tank cool by dousing it with water. So that way, additional heat that's created as the chain reaction happens doesn't create any additional reactions.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. I think, stories like this really remind us like how fragile life really is, because one moment you're at home planning like your next Memorial Day weekend, which is this weekend, and the next you're grabbing what you can and evacuating because something is outside of your control. So prayers to everybody in that community, and hoping that they get this under control and they don't lose anything and no lives are lost and everything. So it's just that's real tough. Miles says survived a few fires and chemical bursts. See, I'm telling you. Hey Tristan, welcome in, Tristan. Tristan said, "What's up, Softy?" Welcome in, Tristan. We're just going over some of the top news stories of this week that sparked my attention and made me say, So, if you are catching this on the rewatch, make sure you like, make sure you comment. I talk back. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on those notification bells so you don't miss a show with me.